Earning your degree online doesn't mean you have to go about it alone. At Capella University, we're here to support you when you're ready. From enrollment counselors who get to know you and your goals, to academic coaches who can help you form a plan to stay on track. We care about your success and are dedicated to helping you pursue your goals. Going back to school is a big step, but having support at every step of your academic journey can make a big difference. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
Hello, everybody. Brenna here, and this is the Mystery of Everything podcast, and we're back, bitches. I'm allowed to say that, I think. We're not PG. Bitch is PG, I think.
Yeah, we can say it.
Bitch is a little PG, you stupid motherfuckers. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if we can say that. I don't know if we can say that. We're going to get weird. Me and Gabby are back. We got the band back together. Also, instead of having a blanket over my head this time, I command stripped blankets around me because last time I sounded fuzzy, and then the time before that I sounded echoey, and then sometimes I get too close, sometimes I get too far. We will find the happy medium. We don't have a choice. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I used to have a neighbor named Will. Great guy.
Did he have a way?
He would find one.
Good for Will.
He has his own business. If you're in the Kentucky area and you need a electrician, plumber, jack of all trades, anything you want, contact Will or contact me because I'm not going to put his last name out there. I don't think. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. We'll see. Anyways, what is today's episode about?
What is it?
Oh, they probably guessed it if they clicked it. Tardigrades. My favorite microorganism.
So I don't know much about tardigrades. Like people mention them, but I've never paid that much attention. So I'm going to learn so much.
Oh, I love them so much. And I didn't have like as much time as I would have liked because my brain, she ain't been with it today. So like we're dipping our toe into water that most likely has tardigrades in it because essentially all water has tardigrades in it unless there's like a strong current, but we'll get into that.
Do we drink them?
No, because we drink like filtered water. If you would go out in the creek, you probably got a little tardigrade.
Oh my God.
Got that dog in me, that water bear. Okay, anyways, so you all might have heard about our little friends, water bears. If you didn't hear what I just said, they're also called that. Or my favorite, they're called moss piglets, which is just cute because they're found in moss amongst a million other places. But if you haven't heard about them, this is going to be a little treat for you all. So, why are tardigrades so cool? Any takers?
Why? Why? Because they're tiny?
Because they're essentially indestructible.
Like cockroaches?
Better than cockroaches. Oh, these bad boys are better than cockroaches in every way, shape, and form. They're never going to die as a species, like as a whole. As a whole, they're never going to die. Tardigrades were here long before us. They will be here long after us. Gabby, do you see the picture of the tardigrade?
I'm going to be straight with you.
Adorable.
It looks hideous. It looks like the creature in some sort of sci-fi film, like the worm in Dune, if it was just shorter, you know? It's just not, I don't know. I love it.
I did pick a bad picture, I will say. Like, if I'm going to show their cuteness, I should have showed them under microscope, like doing their little slow bopping around instead of this ugly ass picture.
He looks like the villain.
They look horrific.
In Star Wars.
It does look...
The thing in Star Wars that's in like that one tavern or whatever.
Are you talking about the thing that has the woman on the chain?
I think so.
Everyone's like, Brenna, you dipshit. It's blah, 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 blah. I'm not a big Star Wars girl. I'm not going to lie. Gabby's a Star Trek
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just know Star Wars because of Steve. I'm trying to be a supportive wife. Share interest and all that.
I did watch the... What is the show they came out with the baby Yoda? The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
I did watch that.
So good.
Yeah, that was good. I was digging.
I had to watch it for Pedro Pascal because that is my other husband. My better husband, actually.
He's something. Anywho, tardigrades. So why are they so cool? They can survive freezing temperatures. They can survive insane amounts of pressure, ultraviolet radiation. They can even survive the vacuum of space.
That's cool as shit.
Yes, that is cool as shit. So let's say like a massive asteroid comes down, it blasts Earth, everyone in that area would die, like the grass dead, trees gone, wildlife essentially all gone. But what would survive? Maybe a cockroach. Maybe. Doubtful. It's a coin toss, but a tardigrade, they're going to survive. Like no questions asked. They would survive. They have survived all 5 mass extinctions since the creation of whenever they were created, 500 million years ago.
Huh.
The more you know. Oh, and something
They're
else.
literally...
What, Gab?
They're literally out here just like, you know, when everyone's like, oh, what would you do if the world ended? They're just like, we'd chill. We'd chill.
We would chill in like a little bit of water. And then, like, if times got stressful, if we're feeling a little stressed, we're just going to turn ourselves into a dormant state for, like, I don't know, 2 years, 40 years, whatever we're feeling. And then we'll just bounce back when we feel less stressed. I wish I could do that, but we'll get into that later. So, and a little fun fact about them, because I love my fun facts. They also, scientists think they might be able to turn themselves fluorescent. Which also means that UV rays don't have shit on them.
Fluorescent?
Yeah. So like UV rays, not gonna be a problem to me.
That's amazing.
They're just so cool and they're adorable. If you don't know what one looks like, stop what you're doing, look them up, but find like a cute pic where it actually looks like a water bear, where it doesn't look like a Star Wars thing. So we can't see them with the human eye. Because some of you might be like, Brenna, if they're everywhere, well, how come I haven't seen them? Because we can't. There could be one on you right now.
Don't say that.
No, because we're not wet. Well,
Oh.
I kid. I'm sorry. I have family that listen to the podcast, which like, thank you. Love you guys. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't want you all to hear the dumb shit I say. Because I say so much dumb shit. Like, shout out to Chris's family. I love you guys so much. But his dad and his dad's girlfriend, Cappy, were like, yeah, we listened to one of your episodes on the way in. And I'm like, please don't. Respectfully, don't do that. It could be something that you maybe don't want to hear. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Or just don't tell me anything about it.
My mom, I didn't know she listened, but I went to like set up her Apple Pod and I opened her Spotify, and the only things she listens to on Spotify are History of Everything podcast and Mystery of Everything podcast. So that's great.
No, I don't want your mom to ever hear any dumb shit I say.
It's too late.
I don't want your mama to think differently of me. I love her.
She won't.
She's just literally, Gab's mom is a sweet baby angel who deserves to be protected. Gabby, why is your background so cool?
I changed it. You could do that in Discord.
You're
when you
lying.
lost connection, I was bored.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not going to start. We're in the middle of an episode. I'm not going to start fiddling right now. I about did. I about started fiddling.
We get it. Distractions happen. That's why we designed the fully electric, full-sized Volvo EX90 with the latest technology to keep you and those around you safe. Its two-sensor driver understanding system is designed to prevent distractions and help you stay focused. Reserve your Volvo EX90 today. Learn more at volvocars.com/US.
This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injury is an additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
Okay, where were we? Oh, a little tangent. Okay, yeah. We can't see them unless you have a microscope, guys. So, Gabby, now you're in a city.
I am.
Stop distracting me. It says snake in the background of your picture. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
It looks like a futuristic vibe, and I'm here for it. But we're here for tardigrades. We're not here for snack. But that's okay.
We are.
Okay, our little microscopic organism friends. So go out to the creek, pick you up some water, with like aquatic plants, maybe some moss. Put them under your microscope. We all have microscopes, yes.
Yes, I do.
Me and Gabby both do, but that's because we're weird. I'm sure not everyone does.
You're right. You might be right about that.
I don't think that's an everyone thing. Just go get your microscope.
What do they do when they want to see something really small, or if there's anything really small? And so, what do you guys do? Comment what the fuck you're doing if you don't have a microscope. Because what?
Oh, and I've looked up.
I've always had one.
Some stuff. I've looked up some things and such on my microscope, like bodily fluids.
As one should.
As one should.
What else are we going to use it for?
What else? Tardigrades. You're going to look up some tardigrades, and if you can see them. Oh, speaking of tardigrade, at EKU, I think this is where I got my love for them. But at EKU, in either zoology or freshwater invertebrates, shout out to my teacher. I want to say her name was Hayes. Some Hayes. Bless your sweetheart. He would get so annoyed with me because I'd stay after class and like 10 minutes just asking questions about dinosaurs. I was that kid.
Oh, no.
And I was in college. So I was that college student. And he'd be like, I too want to go home. And I'd be like, but wait, what about this? What's your thoughts on this, sir? And then he'd be like, please fucking stop. Anyways, EKU got donated the largest collection of tardigrade slides for whatever reason while I was in school. And I got to just go through them and look at all of them. That's probably where my obsession started because they're just so cool. But nobody else thought it was cool. Why? No one in class cared. There's so many of them.
A lot of people lose their whimsy when they're in college.
I was loving it. And he was like, I don't know what to do with this collection. I was like, give it to me. He did not.
Did you take it?
No, he didn't give it to me. I guess I would have too much power if I had the world's largest tardigrade collection in slides.
You could open a tourist trap and make all of the money you would ever need. Actually, that's a great business deal. Email him right now.
Something cool about those slides, though, is let's say hypothetically, like I wanted to bring one of those tardigrades back to life. I could, because it's just in its dormant state. Most of them. I mean, some of them are probably deadsies, but
we can't give you that power. I'm so sorry.
No, we can't give you that power. But what would I even do with it? It's not like I could use them for, I don't know. Even if you do put them out in space, what are you going to do? Start a tardigrade space force? Like, what? What? I don't know. Anywho, let's talk about what they look like. So they grow to be a maximum size of 0.5 millimeters, which is very teeny tiny. Like think of the tip of a pencil. Little tip of a pencil. They are adorable while also being slightly terrifying, as Gab said. They have 8 legs with 4 to 8 claws at the end of each leg. So if you look up the website Live Science, it describes them as resembling the caterpillar off Alice in Wonderland. And I can totally see that. I could see a tardigrade sitting on a mushroom with a pipe. And like, it would not surprise me at all, except for their heads, their weird mouths. They're chubby little guys with segmented bodies and flat heads. They are aquatic. And, they need water to survive. And I say that they don't need water to survive like normal aquatic animals, because they're essentially indestructible. So you do find them in oceans, seas, lakes, ponds, puddles, you name it. But remember, they're super tiny. So they will stay in areas where they can't be swept away by a large current. So like grains of sand, probably going to be in there. Algae, probably find it in there. Perhaps a barnacle or two. And I do kind of want to get one as a pet. If I can find one like on a water sample on my microscope, then I might put that sample in, I don't know, in some kind of aquarium thing. And then I might have a tardigrade as a pet and no one will be able to see it because you can't see it without a microscope, but I'll know. And it'll just be like this little thing and people will be like, why do you have a bucket of water sitting on your computer desk? And I'll be like, oh, that's tardy. Anyways, yeah, I'll check my creek in some pooled areas. I'll keep y'all updated on the talk if y'all follow me on the talk. But anyways, so even though they are aquatic creatures, that's not to say you won't find them on land. They only need the tiniest bit of water for survival. Moss patches, essentially everywhere, really. And I am not exaggerating. No exaggeration. Even in like a parking lot where there's a moss patch on the ground, you're at Wendy's, you're trying to get some grub or something, you're in your parking lot and you look down, tardigrade on the ground, and you'll probably be able to find many of them. I'm rambling about moss patches in parking lots. My bad, guys. But yeah, perfect place to find one. So they were first discovered all the way back in 1773 by a German zoologist named, I want to say Johann August Ephraim Goethe. He is responsible for the nickname water bear, which is so cute. Well, technically he called him Kleiner Wasserbar because he's German. I don't know if I said that right. It
sounded German.
I feel like it needs a little bit more angst in it. I love the Germans, but like everything you all say sounds so aggressive. And I love it. I'm here for it. But I don't think I can replicate it. Anywho, so 3 years after Johann's discovery, there was an Italian biologist, Lazzaro Spallanzani, and he named the group Tardigrade, which translates to slow stepper. I feel like there's a song like that. Maybe not. But yeah, because these chunky boys are slow walkers. So makes sense. So is there only one species of tardigrade? Gabby?
No.
What about two?
Maybe, but no.
Close, but no. No, there are around 1,300 species of tardigrade.
That many? And I haven't seen one.
And you haven't seen one. No. We got to change that. We will change that. Whenever I get my pet tardigrade, we'll get him out sometimes to, I don't know, I guess just look at him for funsies.
This episode is brought to you by Opel, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opel is FDA approved, full prescription strength and estrogen-free. Plus, there's no prescription needed. Finally, the days of needing a prescription for birth control are over. Opel is available online and at most major retailers. Take control of your health and reproductive journey with Opel. Birth control in your control. Use code BIRTHCONTROL for 25% off your first month of Opel at opel.com.
This episode is brought to you by Dermalogica. With Dermalogica's iconic daily microfoliant, exfoliating daily is possible. This gentle rice-based powder exfoliant is activated with water to instantly smooth and reduce the appearance of blackheads with just one use. See for yourself why one daily microfoliant is sold every 30 seconds globally. Visit dermalogica.com/podcast and use code Spotify for a free gift.
So how do they survive all these dangerous situations that would surely kill other species? They dry themselves out, essentially. And they also use limb retraction. That sounds painful to me. And it also sounds creepy. But I don't think it's either painful or creepy. I think it's just a thing. So they retract their little limbs while also substantially decreasing their internal water stores. And this puts them in a ton state, which is why they can survive basically anything. But then how do they come out of this state once they're in it? Well, stress removal. So if they're stressed, they just go into like this catatonic state. And then whenever they're like,
relatable.
Yeah. And when they're like, I'm kind of liking the vibes, then they'll pop back out of it. And this is why they're my favorite.
It's genius. So taking a nap is actually just effective problem solving and stress management.
Yes, because they can survive like everything. And here we are, humans, just working our life away when in reality, we could just put ourselves into ton state, pop out 20 years later, and be like,
exactly. Wait, isn't that just a coma?
Yeah, but coma, we're still like aging and dying.
Yeah, true.
Like if we don't eat in a coma, we die. These guys are just like, let me suck my limbs in real fast and expel all this water. Let me tuck my limbs in real quick. Okay, so stress removal. And they can come right back out of this state as if it never occurred in the first place. We don't exactly know the mechanisms in which water bears initiate ton formation. So we're going to discuss a scientific journal. And the title of it is Chemobiosis Reveals Tardigrade Ton Formation is Dependent on Reversible, Gabby, say that. Cysteine oxidation?
Yeah.
Okay. Cysteine oxidation. They discuss how they initiate ton formation. They use chemicals to show that tardigrade ton formation is mediated by reactive oxygen species, or ROS. They go on to reveal that tons are dependent on reversible cysteine oxidation, and that this reversible cysteine oxidation is started by the release of intracellular reactive oxygen species. So the scientific journal provided the first empirical evidence of chemobiosis, and they map the initiation and survival of tardigrades by osmobiosis, chemobiosis, and cryobiosis.
So what?
Okay, so let's break that apart a little bit more, because I too was like, what the fuck? I still am like a little bit like, what the fuck? But I have a better understanding a little bit. We're going to talk about cryptobiosis next. So what is cryptobiosis? By definition, direct quote, a metabolic state in extremophilic organisms in response to adverse environmental conditions such as desiccation, freezing, and oxygen deficiency. In the cryptobiotic state, all measurable metabolic processes stop. This prevents reproduction, development, and repair. While environmental conditions return to being hospitable, the organism will return to its metabolic state of life as it was prior to cryptobiosis. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay. So their ability to survive these extreme, insane situations is all from their ability to initiate cryptobiosis. Now, don't get me wrong. Although tardigrades are my favorite, and I am entirely biased, there are other eukaryotes and bacteria that are able to initiate cryptobiosis. But I will stop you there. There are not any eukaryotes who can do it across their entire lifespan. So that includes eggs, juveniles, and adults. Tardigrades can. Plus, tardigrades can initiate this through an extremely broad range of stressors, making them pretty special. There are no others that can survive desiccation, oxygen starvation, freezing, fluctuation, osmotic pressure, and ionizing radiation.
They literally are better than everyone.
They're literally better than everyone, everything. And then they got these cute little leggies and these chubby little...
I don't know about that. I'm going to stop you right there.
And these little chubby little segmented body with these weird little claws. I think they're so cute, guys. I'm a little biased, but they're just like I want to get on its back and ride it into battle.
It's 0.5 millimeters.
If you shrink me down, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style, I would ride it into battle. Why didn't they show any of those in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
They didn't know they existed.
Probs. You're probably right. Sorry, guys. As we're talking, I'm also drinking cranberry juice straight out of the jug. It's giving me a little heartburn. Anyways. Oh, side note. Hey, friends. I do know what kind of baby I'm having. That sounds weird. It's like, what kind of milk you drinking this morning? I know what kind of baby I'm having. Put in your guesses. Some of you are already guessing on Patreon. I'm like, you little sneaky little guys. You little sneaky snakes. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or not yet, though. We'll do a poll. I don't know how to do a poll. Gabby will do a poll. Okay.
I shall.
Continuing on. The thing is, we still don't exactly understand the mechanisms they're using, though. How can they stay dormant for so long and come back? I mean, they can be dormant for years and years. They can live in space for like 10 days. Just out there living, LIVIN. They can live without food or water for 30 years. What? And we think we're the superior species? What? Okay. So we're getting slightly better at understanding the survival of these little guys because they're just a little guy. So several cryptobiotes rely on trehalosynthesis. I don't know if I said that right. Trehalosynthesis as a protectant during dormancy. According to the scientific journal mentioned above, the title is really long. I'm not going to go over it, but you all remember. I will put it in the show notes. Okay, so the thing is, many tardigrades produce low or even undetectable levels of this disaccharide. They also don't have highly conserved networks for stress regulation, which includes those that connect hypoxia, genotoxic stress, and oxidative stress to the conserved master regulator target of rapamycin, or also TOR. That's a fucking mouthful. And it's hard to wrap the brain around, you know. So instead of this, tardigrades have to rely on several organism-specific proteins for stress protection. So there is the damage suppressor protein, DSUP, that associates with the nuclear DNA to protect from ionizing radiation. And then you have, I don't know if I'm supposed to say the letters or just say the CAS, SAS, and MAS. It's like CAHS, SAHS, and MAHS proteins, which are cytoplasmic secreted and mitochondrial abundant heat soluble. That's what they stand for. They are known together as a group called tardigrade disordered proteins, or TDPs. They process sequences without conservation in other phyla, and they are essentially for tardigrade survival to desiccation via anhydrobiosis.
Interesting.
What exactly is desiccation? Desiccation.
Drying it out.
Drying it out. Why was I thinking like being beheaded?
Oh my God.
I was like, damn, they really do survive it all. Drawing it out makes more sense. And I call myself a scientist.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to bite into Nerds gummy clusters? They're fruity. They're tangy. They're gummy. And they're crunchy. Nerds Gummy Clusters, a union of fruity sweet gummy and tangy crunchy nerds. Unleash your senses. Shop now at nerdscandy.com.
Pasajeros a bordo, bienvenidos al Friskies Express. Por favor, mantengan sus patitas y colitas dentro del tren. A su derecha verán Crunch Canyon. A la izquierda, Filet Falls. Ahora pasamos al Pico Party Mix. Hoy el tour delicioso está por terminar, pero no hay problema, porque con Friskies siempre hay algo más para explorar. Ve a friskies.com para explorar más.
Next, we have late embryogenesis abundant proteins, LEA, and heat shock proteins, HSP. These proteins are distributed all throughout the tardigrade cells. The fact that we see these proteins being upregulated during tardigrade anhydrobiosis is suggestive that they play a big role in cryptobiosis. But we don't know.
That would make sense.
It would make sense, but there's so much that we don't know about these little guys. So, how do we even know when our little guys are undergoing cryptobiosis in the first place? Well, like we said prior, they shrink down into a shriveled anatomical state known as a ton. They contract their limbs in, retracting along their medial axis. And while doing so, they are also decreasing their internal water stores. And they will stay like this for as long as necessary until they are exposed to more favorable conditions. And then bam, they rapidly distend and return back to their normal metabolism as if nothing ever happened.
It's like reminding me of when you like vacuum seal something and it just shrinks down. And then you cut it and it just
hole in it. And it's like, no. Why wasn't I a tardigrade? Why?
Brenna. Oh
like
my God.
If I could just shut down, I mean, I do shut down, but like if it was acceptable, then I would be on top of the world, baby. Top of the world. They rely on mitochondria activity for desiccation survival and use chemical inhibitors to uncouple the mitochondrial electron transport chain, preventing tons from forming following exposure to anhydrobiotic conditions. So this next bit I pulled directly from the scientific journal mentioned above because they explain the behavior a lot better than Brenna does. But before I get to that, Gabby, look at that little picture.
Okay, so that's cute.
Yeah. See, that's what they look like under a microscope.
That is way cuter. The other thing, not so much.
Well, the other thing is like what they actually look like, but under a microscope, you're like, look at that little guy with a little algae in his little belly. Because they look clear under a microscope. And look at him shrink into a little ball. Like, where'd you go? He gone. 1 minute he's there and the next he was gone. It was like magic. Okay. Enough Harry Potter. Back to Tardigrade. So this is a direct quote. And you guys know how I do with direct quotes. You're always like, Brenna, cut out the fucking direct quotes, bitch. You don't say that. Some of you might. I don't know. Gabby filters mean comments. So I don't see a lot of them because she's a gem. So now we read. Further, the ATP-dependent differential phosphorylation of the AMP activated protein kinase, AMPK, regulatory network following anhydrobiosis revealed that protein phosphatase 2A activation is essential to successfully induce tons via anhydrobiosis. That's a lot. It's pretty cool. Okay, tap back in. Mitochondrial electron transport and AMPK regulation, both of which are highly conserved across taxa, engage in crosstalk with reactive oxygen species, ROS. In fact, mitochondrial ROS generation has been directly linked with AMPK activation in mouse embryonic fibroblasts, which is considered to be conserved across taxa. When combined with increased accumulation of antioxidant enzymes and the redox homeostasis, oh my gosh, my dogs. They're supposed to be outside, the little rascals. If you all hear that, ignore them. Anyways, when combined with increased accumulation of antioxidant enzymes and the redox homeostasis mediator glutathione following anhydrobiosis. This is even hard for me to read, so I imagine you all listening to it. You're like, Brenna, that's not making sense. Evidence suggests oxidation signaling may play a key regulatory role in initiating ton formation. Herein, novel evidence supporting reversible oxidation as an essential regulatory signal for cryptobiosis is demonstrated in the model tardigrade species, Hypsibius exemplaris. Tardigrades are shown to respond to exogenously applied ROS by forming tons in a dose-dependent manner that is inhibited when cysteine thiols are irreversibly blocked. That is interesting. That is very interesting. So thiol-specific fluorescence labeling enabled imaging via confocal fluorescence microscopy with quantification of reduced thiols accomplished through quantitative fluorescent assays. Rapid exposure to reducing conditions causes ton release and death, indicating that the oxidation and reduction of cysteine thiols is accomplished via highly regulated internal networks. Further, quantitative electron paramagnetic resonance spectrometry, or EPR, spectroscopy reveals an intracellular release of ROS following stressor induction. That is fatal when blocked with exogenously applied antioxidants. Inhibition of voltage-dependent anion channel protein 2 generates tons, suggesting ROS control of this ion transporter is likely implicated in tardigrade stress. Together, these data support reversible oxidation signaling as an indispensable regulatory mechanism for tardigrade survival to adverse environments with a conserved role across distinct cryptobiosis. All right, Gabby, can you explain what I just read?
Basically, they were talking about the AMP kinase and the ROS, everything working together to shut down like their metabolism and their energy so that they can shut down. That's like the quick, easy, watered down version.
Okay. Makes sense,
But
guys.
everything kind of works together in order for that to happen so that they can also, start back up when they need.
Man, they are just the coolest. And again, I know I'm biased, but I just love those little guys. I will have one day. If anyone ever gives me like the opposite of a grow ray, then it's over for you bitches. Anyway, so can you imagine if scientists were able to like harness the secrets of the tardigrade and use this information in everyday scenarios? Like it would almost be a little terrifying. But what if we could toughen up human cells? I don't know. I don't want to live forever or be indestructible for that matter. I imagine it could be quite handy, like in certain medications and whatnot. But still, I don't know. In the future, I bet the more we study tardigrades in some way, shape, or form, we will figure out how to use what they use somehow.
Probably.
And then we'll end up making a weapon because that's what Americans do. I'm sorry.
Hoorah.
Hoorah?
Now what do you guys say?
I thought that was like a football thing. Not
I have
football.
no clue.
What is it? There's something that
Military?
the Irish say. Ooh, ooh. It's on, I think it was on Love Island. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Oi, 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 oi. Something like that. Anyway, so basically, tardigrades aren't truly indestructible. It just takes like a lot to kill them. And I, for one, would love to go into a dormant sleep state anytime I get stressed and then wake up when my life is in a more favorable condition. I would never be awake. I would never be awake. Never. I'd wake up once every 30 years to eat and then go back to sleep.
Just get all your favorite foods. Be like, nice. Good night.
This is it, guys. Nighty night. All right, I have to go. Chris's family got here. And this is, you all have heard my dogs in this episode. My internet, I don't know. Gab can probably pull it together super seamlessly, but my internet's went out a few times. So we're going to call this one time of death, 7:16 p.m. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Send us some cool shit. We want to do like interviews. One of my friends has some weird encounters with aliens, and we'll probably interview him. We will do it anonymously though, because he's like super sketched. Understandably, he's had some weird shit happen. But we want to do interviews. So if any of you all have had some weird shit happen that you're not afraid to talk about, send it in. We'll have a little group sesh talking about weird shit.
It'd be fun. I want to do more listener episodes. So like minisodes where you guys send in stories and then we could put those on Patreon.
Oh my God.
Or we could release some of them.
That would be fun. That Morbid does that with like like, the morbid's like a murdery thing. We could do that with just like weird shit, and that would be super fun. Oh, I would love that. I'd love that. Send in your stuff. Follow us on Instagram. We no longer have Facebook because we got hacked.
Yeah.
Patreon is alive and bumping. I wasn't talking that much on Patreon for a little bit because I was throwing up morning, noon, and night and twice on Sundays. But I'm back, baby. Better than ever. I'm ready to party. I want to get a P.O. box too. That way we can send each other stuff, because I would give you all my address, but I bet it's frowned upon.
Probably. So don't do
we'll
that.
P.O. box it, and I want y'all to send me cool shit, and then I'll send you. I don't have cool shit to offer. I'll send you like an acorn from the driveway. I have a lot of acorns.
Wow. That is such an equal exchange, man.
I have so many acorns you would not believe. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have you ever wondered how inbred the Habsburgs really were? What women in the past used for birth control? Or what Queen Victoria's 9 children got up to? On the History Tea Time podcast, I profile remarkable queens and LGBTQ+ royals, explore royal family trees, and delve into women's medical history and other fascinating topics. Join me every Tuesday for History Tea Time, wherever fine podcasts are enjoyed.